We test it. Ooh, there we go. I want you to hear me when I say welcome and Happy New Year. And don't worry, they'll take care of the echo soon. And congratulations, everybody, on the adjustment to 10:15. I did not see anybody here running up to 9:30 who didn't want to be here setting up the space and so on, so people are figuring that out. And likewise, coming early if they were going to be here at 11. I know it's an adjustment. I have a couple of things to announce to you. If you are here online, you can see the order of service by following the link in the chat. If you're here on the UUCPA campus, you can, I don't know if we have this QR code. Usually you can scan a QR code when you come in. You can definitely pick up a printed order of service. Things are not always done exactly the way that we usually do them here today because we wanted to give all the staff the day off. So I'm the only staff person who's working, and we have some wonderful, tireless volunteers making sure that other things are happening. So thank you for that. But if you are here with kids, you see somebody here with kids, we do not have childcare today, nor religious education. The service is the religious education. So I hope people of all ages will enjoy it. Also, folks who are here online, you're welcome to keep your video on throughout the service. I do advise you to turn your audio off, since too many audio feeds, cause trouble. But near the end of the service, you'll unmute. And there's lots of announcements in your order of service. If you have a printed order of service, there's a lot more information online. So I hope some of the many things that are going on in the next week so you don't miss them. And now, let us begin our service.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. Look up ahead. The path is there. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. The other one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. The other one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared. I know you're scared. And I'm scared too. And I'm scared too. But here I am. But here I am. Right next to you. Right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. The other one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. The other one foot in front of the other and lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love.
If you are following along online and you have a chalice there with you, please light it along with us. For the new year, beginning today, always beginning, we light our chalice, symbol of faith, perseverance, and hope, in astonished thanksgiving and irrepressible praise. And with our centering words each week, we draw on the many sources of our living tradition. Today's words are attributed to Kalidasa. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of your existence, the bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of achievement are but experiences of time. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. And as we follow the sound of the bell into silence, we allow ourselves to arrive here fully. So please join in singing "'Tis a Gift to be Simple," which is number 16 in the gray hymnal. And if you're online, you can see the words in the order of service.
As I said, as you see, all our music is recorded, or we're making it ourselves here, so we can give folks this important day off. So if you're not familiar with this song, I'll play it through instead of you're hearing it through on the piano. I'll sing it through. If you know it already, join in with me the first time, and if you don't know it very well, join in with the rest of us the second time. We'll begin on this note. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. Again. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in a place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. Ooh, we do quite well a cappella. Oh, and I have a story for everybody now. So if you are a younger person, you may sit with your parents, or you may come on up here and join me. Either way, you'll be able to see and hear me. But I'm going to need some help wherever you are, okay? So come on up. Yeah, thank you, Stasha. Good. Definitely need your help. I could have used your help yesterday, in fact, because I went outside and I forgot to bring something that I really wished I had with me. Can you guess what it was? I'm going to ask the kids to guess first. Who wants to guess? I love it. Grown-ups, you'll get your time. Just a sec. Hat is a good guess. It is true I did not have a hat. If it helps any, I was going grocery shopping, and I should have expected that I was going to have to walk between my car and the store. What do you think, Eloise? I did not bring an umbrella. It was pouring, right? Do you know how much rain we got where I lived? Almost 4.5 inches. That is a whole lot of rain in one day. But today I brought an umbrella because I was going to need it for this story. And if there are any umbrellas out there, which I get this feeling there might be, you'll have a moment to use the umbrella too. So this is a story about an umbrella, and it was first told in a slightly different version by a religious educator like Kat. His name is Tim Adkins. So Tim Adkins tells this story of getting caught in the rain, and he said that reminded him, like me, of a time when a little girl had left her house. She was several blocks. I forgot to tell you how you're going to need to help me. Well, we're about to get there. When I say boom, we need a lot of noise. So I need people to really boom. Are you ready? If you don't like loud noises, this is a good moment to cover your ears because people are going to yell boom. Ready? Boom! Oh, excellent. And we're also talking about something called sanctuary. Sanctuary is a place where you're protected, where you're safe. It's a place of calm and peace. So when I say sanctuary, we're going to repeat the word sanctuary in this peaceful, calm way. Sanctuary. Can you say that with me? Sanctuary. Okay. So this little girl went out. She was walking from her house and doing a few errands, and suddenly a rain shower came just out of nowhere. Thunder, lightning, and a lot of rain went boom. That was great. My gosh, I didn't expect you to join in with me immediately. Let's do it again really loud. Boom! Oh, she was scared. And she ran into the nearest open door, which turned out to be a little grocery store, like I went to yesterday, very small one. She just went in there to get out of the rain, and because she was a little scared of thunder and lightning, even though she knew they were really nothing to be afraid of. And you know, when she went in, there was an old woman behind the counter, and even though she knew that wasn't anybody to be afraid of either, she was a little scared, if she was completely honest. This woman was very small and bent over. She had very deep lines from her years of living, very deep wrinkles. Her hair was completely white, and her eyes were a little kind of foggy. They didn't look very clear, like she couldn't see very clearly. Well, at least having a hat would at least be helpful in the rain, yeah? So, but she knew that wasn't anything to be afraid of, even though she kind of was. So she was just looking around, being glad to be out of the rain, and the lady behind the counter said, "Wow, that rain came on very suddenly. You must have gotten caught in the rain. Even in here, I heard the boom. Boom!" She said, "Don't worry. This place can be your sanctuary." Yeah, boom. Can you say sanctuary with me? Sanctuary. It can be this place where you are safe and dry, out of the rain, and away from the scary thunder and lightning. "Thank you," the little girl said. She said, "I don't have any money to buy groceries." "Oh, that's okay," the old woman said. She said, you just enjoy the sanctuary here. Sanctuary until you need to go." So the rain started to let up a little, and the little girl thought, "Well, I really do need to go home." So even though it was still coming down out there, she started looking out the door, and the old lady said, "You know, if you need to go out into the rain, I've got something that you can take with you." She brought out an umbrella and offered it to the little girl. Little girl said, "Oh, but that's your umbrella." The old lady said, "Well, you need it more than I do right now. So why don't you take it with you? And if you don't need to bring it back to me. If you ever see anybody who needs it more than you do, pass it on. It'll be your portable sanctuary." See, even if it were raining in here, we'd have a sanctuary. You know, that's another word for our main hall here. It's our sanctuary because it's a place that we are safe and it's a place of peace. So this was a portable sanctuary. She could bring it with her anywhere. "Thank you so much," said the little girl, and she took it out and went out into the rain, and she was about halfway home when she saw a man like this. He was covering up, he had like a folder over his head, really not enough. He looked like me yesterday. It was not enough to keep him dry. And what really attracted the little girl's attention was this man was wearing a suit. Okay, somebody out in a suit and covering himself up is like somebody who really did not want to get wet today. It seemed like he had also been surprised by the boom of the storm. And she said, sir, would you like to stand under my umbrella? It's kind of like a portable sanctuary, a sanctuary. He said, thank you very much. And he explained, he said, I'm in this suit and I'm in a hurry because I've been out of work for a long time and I have a job interview today and I'm really excited about this opportunity to maybe get a job, which I've needed for so long, but I don't feel like I'm going to make a very good impression if my suit gets totally wet. And she said, oh, here's somebody who needs this umbrella more than I do. And she said, why don't you take this umbrella? And he said, I can't take your umbrella. You're going to get wet. You need it. And she said, no, you just take it. And he said, I don't even know who you are, where you live. I'll never be able to give it back to you. And she said, that's okay. If you see somebody, whoever needs it more than you do, you give it to them. Right now, it will be your portable sanctuary, and then it will be their portable sanctuary. And so the man took it and thanked her very much and went off to his job interview. I don't know whether he got the job or not, but I do know that he was so moved by this that he gave the umbrella away next time he saw someone who needed it. And furthermore, he started keeping a few extra umbrellas around and just gave them to people with the same thought. He said, you need it more than I do right now, so you take it, give it to somebody else if they ever need it more than you, and it can be our portable sanctuary. And before long, there were umbrellas all over the town. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing more umbrellas opening up of people who had portable sanctuaries and who had a gift to give anybody who might need a portable sanctuary at that time. That's our story. Thank you for joining me up here. Thank you for joining me down there. Thank you for staying dry. And now, if you're like me, your mom told you probably never to open an umbrella indoors. I think the superstition that it's bad luck is actually just good advice. Indoors, there isn't usually a lot of room to open something as big as an umbrella without knocking things over, but here we have a lot of room. And also, you have to be careful of people's eyes, and everybody was. So thank you. You can go back to your seat today because it is an intergenerational service, and instead of going to a class, you're going to stay the whole time. And I'll try to be interesting. Now we turn our thoughts to the important events of our lives, which we wish this community to share. You can always give me a joy or sorrow to speak by filling out a card like this or asking somebody to help you with that when you come in. Or you can send them to joyconcern@uucpa.org, and I may have some of those right now. And of course, if you are on Zoom, you can put them in the Zoom chat, and I'll see them also. I see one. Let's take some time now for quiet, a time of meditation and prayer to hold what we've heard. Joys and sorrows and worries and losses, hopes. It's good to just share this life together and feel that our compassion for one another can help. Blessed be. You'll see the next point in our service, if you're looking at the order of service, is our recommitment time. For many of us, New Year's is a time in particular to pause and consider what has brought us joy that we want to keep doing or do even more of in the coming year, and also what has made life more difficult for ourselves or other people that we want to do less of or change in some way. But that's once a year, and it's really hard to make a big change. So we try to notice these things more often, almost every week during our gathering time here in our service. So let's take some time now to reflect, maybe not on the whole year, but on the past week or so, and remember what's important and how we want to make whatever we value a bigger part of the week or so that lies ahead. In being and becoming more of who we want to be, we have companions, we have help, we have this congregation, and we have our tradition. The words that are in your order of service now are an affirmation that has been spoken in Unitarian Universalist services all through the country, all over the world, and for many years. So let's say them together now. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve life and human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. We are actually going to sing our song after Joe shares his reflection. So, Joe.
So good morning and Happy New Year. As we head into 2023, the new year is a popular time to set resolutions. And in preparing to set resolutions, it's generally a good idea to take stock of where you are now and where you want to be. And one way to approach that is to ask the question, what are you known for? And what do you want to be known for? As I was growing up, our family attended Methodist and Lutheran churches, so I was quite familiar with the Christian hymn, "And they'll know we are Christians by our love." So when I saw that Reverend Amy was going to theme her sermon around this, I was intrigued. It sounds great. Who doesn't want to be known as a loving person? Yet at the same time, that irritating little cynical voice in the back of my mind started humming a different tune. And I couldn't quite place it at first, but I eventually recognized it as a tune from the musical Hamilton. So this musical is set in the time of the American Revolution, and just as the colonies are declaring independence, there's a scene where King George of England appears and sings his little love song to the American colonies, trying to dissuade them from rebellion. It ends with the following verse: "You'll be back like before. I will fight the fight and win the war. For your love, for your praise, and I'll love you till my dying days. When you're gone, I'll go mad. So don't throw away this thing we had. 'Cause when push comes to shove, I will kill your friends and family to remind you of my love." Da 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 da. Well, that's not exactly the kind of love I would want to be known for. So there's a big difference between how that kind of toxic love is perceived if you're on the receiving end versus the giving end. It's complicated and time for a reality check. I do think it's important to take stock not just of how we think of ourselves, but how others know us as well. Otherwise, we can be known for something quite different than what we think we are. One reality check I had came in my youth. I remember a time when I was in high school, and I had volunteered to help out around the house. I told my mom I was going to make dinner one evening. It was going to be tacos. It was something simple I could handle. Yet when the day came that I was responsible for making dinner, being a young teenager, I forgot about it entirely, and I got busy playing with my friends after school and came home late. Yeah, this was back in the days before cell phones when parents had no clue where their children were. So when I got home, my mom was, of course, waiting for me and reminded me that I had promised to make the tacos for dinner. But not wanting the family to starve, she had made them herself. And so, after it was apparent to her that I had forgotten them, but she didn't let me forget. In her words, there were no tacos. I was all talk and no O's. So there I was, thinking of myself as being a helpful guy and helping around the house, but the reality check was I ended up being known for all talk and no O's. I got the message very clearly that I will be known for what I actually do. So if you want to be known for something, go out and live it fully. But don't be like King George or like me in my youth. Do some reality testing from time to time. And I wish you all the very best in the coming year.
It's number 34 in your gray hymnal. If you're online, you can see the words in the order of through the order of service. This is a folk tune, also known as "The Water is Wide," so you may know it already. Again, if you need to hear the first verse, then listen as I and whoever else knows it sings, and then join in on the second verse. Will you rise in body or spirit? 34. Though I may speak with bravest fire and have the gift to all inspire and have not love, my words are vain as sounding brass and hopeless gain. Yeah, like Joe, I'll have a little bit more to say about what's actually going on in that song, but I just knew that refrain and that basic idea. They will know we are Christians by our love. I don't even know how I knew that song since I didn't grow up in the Methodist or Lutheran or any Christian church. But I really liked the sound of it because I thought there's so many ways to answer that question. How will the world know that you're Christian? What will tell them? You could say, well, it's because of what I believe. Okay, that's nice, but, doesn't really have much impact on anybody else. You could say, it's because I go to XYZ church, and that's great, but, what kind of church? What's the church known for? What's it all about, being a part of a Christian church? Or, I wear a cross pendant, which, okay, that tells us you're Christian, but it doesn't tell us what that means. And I love the fact that somebody who wrote that song and the people who sang that song said they'll know that we're Christians by the way we act, by our acting in a loving way, which I hope is not King George's idea of love, but is true care and concern for other people, shown through their actions. And that's why I got thinking about how I would answer that question and how other Unitarian Universalists, whether Christian or not, might answer that question. Because I don't think Unitarian Universalism either is chiefly a matter of what we believe or what's in our head. And it's certainly not about whether we wear, say, a chalice necklace, although I've got a bunch of them, and I love to tell people when they notice it what it means, and that it's a symbol of my religion and what that means to me. But then, I expect, they expect for me to be able to say something other than, oh, well, that's the symbol of Unitarian Universalism. Okay, well, that's great, but what? What does that mean? What does it mean to me to be a UU? So I think that just like the people who wrote that song, and just like Joe found out when he was told by his mom he was all talk and no oh, that the answer is in how we live. Something about, well, what kind of person does Unitarian Universalism help make you? How are you out in the world and in your relationships? And what that means might vary for us, because that's a part of Unitarian Universalism too, is that we don't all have to think the same thing. So I thought that we should all think about it ourselves just for a moment. If somebody said, how would somebody know that you're a Unitarian Universalist? What about things in your life would tell them what this religion is all about? What would you answer? So if you'll take a moment and think about that, maybe a song is the answer, like the one that I just shared. Maybe there's a song that we sing that would help sum that up. But whatever it is, just see if you can have that in your mind. Okay, and now I want you to turn to somebody you're sitting near, or Joe and I will come talk to somebody out in the front, because we already talked to each other about the answer to this question, and tell them. And if you came up blank, hey, don't worry, we're here to help each other. So maybe what the other person says will help get your wheels turning and make you realize, I know you know in some way, but help you find the words for how would somebody know that you're a UU by the way you act. Let's take a moment to do that right now. All right, everybody. I want to hear some of your answers. So I will go among you and repeat them if you've got anything that you want to share with everybody. What did you find? Are the things that you do that would let people know that this is what it means to be a UU? Yes, Brooke.
Well, that people would know I'm a UU because I value everybody as best I can.
Valuing everybody as best as you can. That's lovely. Can I share what you said, Barbara? May I? Because Barbara was in my group, and it was along those lines. She said, I try to let people know, try to be kind and let people know when they've made my life easier in some way by saying thank you and so on, and acknowledging people. And we talked a little bit about the fact, like, they might not actually know that you're UU, but they would know, they would say of Barbara, oh, she's a very appreciative person. She's somebody who thinks about other people. They would say of Brooke, oh, she values everybody, right? I like that. Nice. Yeah, Eric.
We talked about being welcoming, which was fun because we got to practice it immediately.
Being welcoming and how did you practice being welcoming immediately?
Oh, we talked about our lives and got to know each other.
Excellent. So I see a few people who are welcome here and a little bear who is welcome here. Awesome. Yeah, that's something you can practice all the time. And again, like, if people here know that you're a UU. But out in the world, people might not know you're a UU, but they would just know, hey, wow. And Byron is like, just comes out with props I didn't even ask for. which is also a way to be a great UU, I think.
So for me, I think it's the social justice efforts. I mean, the CYRE kids and committee recently participated in compiling kits for through Life Moves for children who are either unhoused or precariously housed. And I really appreciate the emphasis on this social justice here, and I try and explain that to people. And they say, why do you go to that place? That's important to me.
Yeah. And again, like, I love the thought that somebody might say, oh, you and your kids made kits for kids who are living, you know, they're living in their car, they don't have a home or something. Wow, what kind of church is that, right? It's just, they know right away, even though before they know what kind of church it is, they know it's a church where we try to give our care to other people.
I'm going to summarize what's on the chat.
Okay, please, thank you.
So basically, UU is a religion more concerned about how you act in the world than the beliefs that guide you. Non-Trinitarian, universal love and acceptance, and a reaction against hierarchical structures and being told what to do.
Okay. We could put that in a positive sense, too, of being independent-minded and recognizing we have to be our own leaders in a way. And thank you so much for that, Pamela, because I was going to have to go up and squint at the chat, and now you have shared it with me.
Hi, I think for me, the Unitarian Universalist faith represents acceptance and honoring of all people, and inclusiveness, I guess, would be the word that comes to mind. That's about all I have to say.
Thank you. We heard that theme a few ways, but I bet there's a lot of other things that you know, are in your head now or didn't get shared aloud. That's really neat. And I'm thinking, so I don't want to pick on the poor people who wrote that song. Not to pick on the people who wrote that song, but I was disappointed. I went and looked it up, and just a moment. No, it wasn't like King George's song of getting love completely backwards. But it was a little more limited than I thought. Because I heard that and I thought, well, yeah. I mean, when I think about the friends I have who are Christian, I think what I really admire about their religion, the way they practice it, is that they are loving people. They care about its social justice as well, right? Which is showing love and making a fairer world for people you don't even know. And thinking about people of the future, for example, because they're environmentally active and so on. But when I looked at the song, since I thought maybe before I come talk about it in the service, I should actually know all the words. It really was about how people take care of each other, like just among themselves. And I thought, well, that's nice. I mean, you want your church, you want your group of Christians or Unitarian or Unitarian Universalists to take care of one another. We grieve with one another. We celebrate one's lives, each other's lives. We help people out when they have a problem, like Stephen's having a tree fall on his house. That's all good. But what I had hoped was they were saying, oh, they'll know we're Christians because of our love for everybody, because to me, that's one of the great teachings of Christianity. And maybe they do that too. So I love this, and I love, I really appreciate everybody sharing and thinking about, you know, the way you say this, the way you say these things, I think it's not just about religion. You know, you all come to this congregation, yay, many of you are really helping lead it, wonderful. Obviously, that's very important to keep these values going in the world. But what I'm noticing is that these aren't specifically like religious things that you brought up. This is about being good people, being the kind of people that we want to be. That's what I heard from everybody who shared, wanting to be welcoming, wanting to value everybody, wanting to be inclusive and kind. So it sounds to me like being a good Unitarian Universalist is basically being a good person, and that we are here to help us be the kind of people that we want to be. I'm seeing some nods, so I'm not the only person who thinks that, I guess. I had I had a little exchange of letters recently. Somebody who said she used to be a Unitarian, not affiliated with this congregation or anyone I know, she wrote to the newspaper, the Mercury News in San Jose. She was responding to an article about how after COVID, a lot of churches are having a decline in attendance and people are a little out of the habit. She said she thought that a reason that people didn't go to church anymore, the reason that she was no longer involved even after decades of being a Unitarian, wherever she did that, was that churches inappropriately, in her view, took public policy positions. Now, a public policy position means a position about laws that are out there in the government, in our city or state or the country, about people's rights and what they're allowed to exercise and so on, about environmental regulations and how we deal with that. And I thought, I cannot imagine Unitarian Universalism or any religion without some kind of public policy. We're not a public policy making organization. That's not our primary reason to exist like a lobbying group in Sacramento is. But as Beth was saying, I mean, the fact that we say, hey, we care about people who are homeless. We not only make kits and help people who are homeless right at this moment, but we take a position on public policy. We go to the government and we say, hey, we really want more affordable housing around here. We want to change things. Anyway, so I wrote a letter for my part saying how important it was for us to practice our religion that way, because that's how our principles actually make a difference in the world instead of just being nice things that we say we believe. So I'm wondering if this is maybe why Joe and I had trouble choosing songs. You know, we were trying to choose songs for this service, and we didn't want to tell anybody exactly like, well, this is what it means to be a UU. We'll sum it up in this song. So we chose a few that we thought kind of fit. That one we just sang, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire, seemed like it was kind of exactly about Joe's experience of, you know, you can't just talk about how you want to be. You have to act in a loving way, which in that particular case was actually making dinner for your family. But I think the diversity of what we've heard is a good reminder. Like, yeah, it might not all be, we might not be able to sum it up in one line. But just as we might not all agree on matters of public policy, sure. But we all agree on the principles behind them and that we should act on them. Not only do we, so here's an example. We all believe that we should take care of the planet, that we have a responsibility to other species, to other people, to people of the future, and that we should live sustainably and address the environmental crisis. We absolutely all believe that. I've never met a UU, and I don't think I ever will, who doesn't believe that. Now, we might not agree in exactly what policies will best get us there. That's something we talk about, we figure out together, we try to reach an agreement so that we can take action as a congregation and as a wider community. But here's the thing that I think is really key, that I first heard in that Christian song and that I'm hearing from you all, that there does have to be a way for people to tell. It can't just be, oh, I care about the environment. It makes me very sad when things aren't going well, when I see things about climate change and so on. It's not just what's inside us. We feel like we need to act upon it, and that is how somebody would know that we were members of this tradition, that we believe you've got to be able to tell. And if you can't tell by my actions, then I'm not quite the UU or the person that I want to be yet. What those actions are, they may vary, but they have to be expressing and actually acting on what we believe. I love Joe's story because it's so hopeful because, you know, we've all done things to disappoint our family, so thank you for the humility in telling that story. I know I was thinking of my own part of times that I let my family down and have tried not to do that again. But you see, I didn't know Joe then, but I know him now. And I know him absolutely as someone who can be counted on to do the things that he says. So maybe that experience had an effect, or maybe you just grew up. Maybe we all have to learn at some point that we don't want to be all talk and no because, you know, everybody loves to have tacos made for them. Well, if you like tacos. But very few of us just want to hear about tacos from somebody. It's just not all that exciting if no tacos actually appear on the table. So it's good to know that, you know, we can grow into more of the kind of people we want to be. And I hope this is a place that we do that. But the other thing is, I'm thinking about our umbrellas and that story that we got from Tim Atkins about being the portable sanctuary. I feel like what we've just seen is that everybody here has like a little invisible umbrella above them, and you're going around in the world, wherever you go, showing people what it means to be a UU. Whether you tell them, which, you know, by all means, tell them, that would be great. Whether you wear a chalice and start that conversation, and just because it's nice for you to remember, that's all wonderful. But even before they know why you are so kind, so concerned about homeless children, so welcoming, so inclusive, they might not know that it's connected to this church, but they know that you are those things. And that even though you might not have an umbrella over your head, meeting you is like running into a portable sanctuary, that they've found a little part of the world that makes them feel better and makes them feel, oh, now I have something to take out into my life, a little piece of kindness, of welcome, of inclusiveness, of social justice. So I just love to think about all of us carrying our portable sanctuaries wherever we go. That's a great way to start the year. And now let us take up our offering. This is a symbolic way we support our congregation. This money is not a small amount of money, but it's just a piece of how we support our congregation. We give through our pledges, we give through fundraisers, but we give each week when we gather because we need this practice to remember, yes, this congregation is part of how we express our values in the world and spread these things that we want to see everywhere. So if we're moved by gratitude to each other for being a part of a community that helps us be the people we want to be, we may choose to support our community with whatever financial resources we can. So the order of service gives a QR code and a link, and also information on using text to give via Give Lively. If you prefer to give cash or a check, Kathy will bring the box up to us right now, and we will hear Eric Leon play as we take up our offering and receive it. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity. And now please join in singing Spirit of Life. Here we'll be led by the lovely recording that Bruce Olstad made. So the words are on the screen, but if you want to see the music and you have a hymnal, it is number 123. Please rise in body or spirit.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirring. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
After we extinguish our chalice, if you would mind, don't play the postlude just yet. I'm going to change the order of things a little bit. I'm going to have the postlude after our greeting time, as our greeting time begins, and we can stay and listen and watch Veronica play or go on out and have our snacks or whatever, because the service is a little long. So we extinguish our chalice. But remember that it is like our portable sanctuary. This sanctuary right here, this sanctuary, is portable. We can take it with us, inside us, wherever we go. And then when we need the sanctuary of one another or just want each other's companionship, we come back here and go forth again with something to bring to our lives and to the whole world. Now, please stay after the benediction for greeting time, a chance to speak to someone you haven't met before or haven't seen in a while to extend that welcome. And then we do not have coffee today. We will have tea, which is the level of technology I'm up to. Also, here we have a little bit of sparkling cider for Happy New Year out on the table. And then, of course, I hope at home you'll have whatever drinks you enjoy and stay and chat with folks via video. So if you are online, please unmute yourself, turn on your video, and touch hands like this, or however you like to do it, while we say our benediction together. Today, if you're here, reach out to hold hands, or if you just want to show that you're present without holding hands, you can do that. And again, as we go into our greeting time, music will play here. It's okay, you don't have to sit it down again to watch the music. Veronica will not be offended. Also, she's not here. Go out into the world in peace. Be of good courage. Hold fast
to what is good.
Turn to no
One evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Rejoice in beauty. Speak love in word and deed. Honor all beings. Thank you.